Multiversus has officially relaunched, and with it comes a new PvE mode called Rifts. So far, people's opinions on these Rifts are a bit mixed, to say the least, and for good reason, really. There are a lot of things that they do right, but there are also some major things that these Rifts get wrong. I would go as far as to even argue that these rifts are broken at a fundamental level. I'm going to go over it all right here. Let's go ahead and start off with a quick overview of what these rifts even are. Essentially, what it boils down to is a ladder-based bracket that you work all the way through up to the final boss. Each branch of the ladder is your typical fight person or do mini game challenge. I do want to point out that it is not entirely linear. There are several branches you could go down, some of which are paywalled. We will get into that a little bit later. You also have these things called gems, which you earn from completing levels of the rift. An important thing to take note of is that these gems start out at level 1 and you level them up passively through the rifts, as well as some battle pass rewards and even a paywall. I'll come back to that. What these gems are is buffs for you inside of the rift zone, and they are essential both for ease of completing the rift and the ability to even unlock the next difficulty. Yeah, you heard that one right. They have the difficulty of the rift that you can participate in directly tied to the level of gems that you have equipped. The whole gems system here is probably the most toxic part of this entire rift system, but we're still just doing an overview, so I will come back to this. The overall reward meant to be coming from completing these rifts is the upcoming character Agent Smith. For every boss that you beat, you will get 1 point, and as of now, we are under the assumption that Agent Smith is unlocked after 20 points. Unfortunately, you cannot repeat a boss for repeat points, and at the moment, there are only 2 bosses out. There are 5 difficulty levels to each rift, and each difficulty level does grant you 1 point, meaning that technically these 2 bosses can gain you a total of 10 points. Is this whole entire system sounding a bit convoluted here? That's because it is. I would argue that it's broken from the ground up, and now we have a little bit of a base laid down. Let's go ahead and talk about it. My main problem with this entire thing is that it is an unnecessary time sink. It would be 1,000 times better if they just had it to where if you completed the final difficulty, you were rewarded the points for all of the previous difficulties. Instead, the difficulty level is not even accessible. It is locked behind gem levels, which are locked behind battle pass progression and lower level rift progression and money. You can pay money to level up your gems, which in turn would unlock more difficulties. It is a predatory system. At the moment, I have completed both difficulties in each of the 2 rifts for a total of 4 points, and I still have not gotten enough experience for my gems to unlock the next difficulty level. They aren't even trying to mask it or passively be predatory either. They're very aggressive about it because when you get into each rift, there are some brackets and some stars, if you will. I'm pretty sure these stars are what level up gems. I'm not entirely sure, but regardless, there are some stars and entire levels locked behind having either A, a specific character, or B, specific paid cosmetics. You get put into a chokehold from both sides here. It's absolutely insane. And the whole big sell of the Rift system is that you can unlock Agent Smith early, yet where we stand, he is impossible to unlock. You can only get 10 points right now, with the next event launching in 5 days, and even with that, you would be looking at a maximum of 15 out of the 20 required points, with no date yet on the 4th rift, which is presumably where you would be able to unlock Agent Smith. The whole thing here just feels intentionally misleading, but I'm assuming that 2 weeks after the 4th rift launches is when Agent Smith will be available to anyone who's not putting themselves through this system here. At the end of the day, though, the pay to win and pay to play aspect of this, as well as the confusion with Agent Smith, isn't even why this Rift system is broken. The fact that you have to do each and every single difficulty is just needlessly redundant. To me, a quick fix would be to unlock all of the difficulties and make it to where if you complete a difficulty, you also get the points for any difficulty level under that. As it stands, it would be impossible to complete the final difficulty without gems leveled up. So you would technically have to start off at a lower level, but at least this would allow you to not be forced to play through the lowest difficulty settings just to level up your gems. It's boring, it's redundant. There is so much that is wrong with this system. It really overshadows everything that is amazing about it. I almost forgot to bring it up. The mini games that they have are creative and a good, fun way to mix things up. Running the tank defense is boring at the lower levels, but it gets more interesting the more that starts to ramp up. Break the Target is one of my favorite mini games, and while Multiverse's version of it isn't exactly what I was hoping for, it is still really fun. The Balloon Bash Challenge is sweet in my opinion. Jumping rope was just some good stupid fun. And aside from the mini games, even with the hybrid Joker boss, I thought that was enjoyable. The Stripe boss had some interesting mechanics to it. All of it was enjoyable once or twice, not having to grind it over and over out of every single difficulty though. I don't see myself spending any real time in this mode, if I'm being honest. The PvP side of this game is really the only thing I'm interested in, which might make me a little bit biased, so be sure to let me know how you guys feel about these rifts down in the comments, and also how your time in Multiverses has been going so far. If you made it this far into the video, comment down below, made it so I can give you an extra shout out. Other than that though, I hope you guys all have an amazing day. I'm out.